What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. So before we begin the video on Javon Kinlaw, I just wanted to let everyone know that this video was recorded before the events of everything. Like before Desmond Trufant got released, Devontae Freeman, Austin Hooper, even DeAndre Hopkins going to the Arizona Cardinals, for crying out loud. I didn't really even get the news until I was recording the video, and when I was done recording the video, I went back to my Twitter and YouTube, and I do realize I did receive more mailbag questions, and they're basically asking what are my thoughts on free agency, like what are my thoughts on Freeman being released, Austin Hooper, just all free agency stuff, and I just wanted to let you all know, if I did not get to your mailbag question, I do apologize. It's mainly because I was answering the questions I had in front of me at the time. But this Friday's episode is more than likely going to be my thoughts on everything that is happening. Like Hayden Hurst coming to the Falcons, Devontae Freeman getting released. I'm still wearing his jersey because I thought he was a damn great Falcon. I don't care what you say, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I hope you guys still enjoy the video. Your guys' support has been absolutely phenomenal in the last 4 months. I really don't know how to thank you enough, but I hope you enjoy the video, and as always, rise up. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So in this video, we're going to go over Javon Kinlaw, and Javon Kinlaw is a 2020 NFL draft prospect that yet again, a lot of Falcons fans have their eyes on. I say that in like every NFL draft type video, but a lot of Falcons fans do have their eyes set on Javon Kinlaw. So we're just going to go over his stats, his film, and then my thoughts on if the Falcons should draft him starting right now. Before we begin, let's go over how we do things at Rise Up Rundown when it comes to NFL draft prospect videos. The first thing is we have an overall look of the player, and that means we go over what school he's from, what position he plays, his height, his weight, and even his 2019 regular season stats. Then after that, we have a film breakdown, and this is obviously to give you a better understanding of who he is as a player. And then after that, we go over my thoughts on if the Falcons should draft him or not. But let's have an overall look at Javon Kinlaw. He is a defensive tackle out of South Carolina. He is 6'6" and weighs 310 pounds. Goodness. His 2019 regular season stats: 15 solo tackles, 6 sacks, and 0 forced fumbles. So statistically, he didn't really even do all that good, but I don't think that matters because we're about to go over his film. And unlike K'Lavon Chaisson, how I walked away from his tape unimpressed, I walked away from Javon Kinlaw's film very impressed. And it was kind of hard to break down what he does really well because he doesn't really do a whole lot as a pass rusher. Not to mention that he's really tall, so, you know, he can't really do any spin moves. He doesn't really use speed to his advantage or whatever. But I think I finally figured out what he does well. First off, he's got really long, strong arms. So that's one thing he uses to his advantage. He also has a good use of hands. Really, when it comes down to Javon Kinlaw, he is just aggressive as hell. And let's just show you 3 clips to prove that. So here's the first clip I'm about to show you, and just watch, okay? Just watch. It's not just impressive what he was able to do with that offensive lineman, but look at how long his arms are. He was able to reach the quarterback with ease. This next clip is a good example of how strong his arms are. And I forgot to mention a pretty good use of hands, because that offensive lineman, I mean, he was standing on his toes. Look at how easy it was for Javon Kinlaw to get to the quarterback. And this last clip is basically the same thing. If you're a Georgia fan, you are familiar with Cade Mays, and Cade Mays does not stand on his toes like that, usually at least. Overall, should the Atlanta Falcons draft Javon Kinlaw? Even though Javon Kinlaw is a defensive tackle, and not an edge rusher. The Falcons need an edge rusher really bad. I would say, why not? I mean, Javon Kinlaw is one of the elite pass rushers in the 2020 draft, and I don't know how many times I preached that an elite pass rush can totally change the game. I'm not going to go into depth on that because I think you heard me preach about that way too many times. You get the idea. But Javon Kinlaw is indeed an elite pass rusher, and the Falcons need that really bad. So even if you do move Javon Kinlaw to defensive end instead of defensive tackle, I don't really think it matters because Javon Kinlaw dominates in no matter what he does. So yes, I think the Falcons should get him, and are they going to get him? I don't really know, but I don't know if any Falcons fan would necessarily complain if they got him. But that is my thought on that. Let's get to your mailbag questions, and let's start it out with Ninja Kale. Who is your favorite player in the NFL? Mine is Younghoe Koo. My favorite player is Julio Jones because the 2 Falcons games I went to in person, Julio Jones won the game basically, and yeah, he gave me some pretty good memories. Let's just say that. Shane Thompson asked, how would you feel about having Tom Brady in our division if the Bucs end up acquiring him in free agency? Well, living in Central Florida, I'm kind of surrounded by a lot of Bucs fans, and a lot of Bucs fans always preach that the Bucs are going to be good. And whenever they do that, the Bucs never end up being good. So I never necessarily believe in the Bucs hype, no matter what anyone says. However, I maybe would believe it here. Simply because Tom Brady is just that much of an upgrade over Jameis Winston. And Tom Brady is a veteran. I mean, I don't really think it matters what team he goes to. He's been in the league long enough. He doesn't really need to, quote-unquote, get used to the system. Like, he's 40 years old. You think he needs to get used to the system? Like, he won 6 Super Bowls. What does he need to get used to? But anyway, now this is not me saying that I want it to happen. It's kind of like Dolphins fans with Patriots. Like, Dolphins fans believe the Patriots could win the Super Bowl, but that doesn't mean they want it to happen. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. I'm not saying I want the Bucs to be good, but I actually would kind of maybe believe it would happen. But at the same time, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ghost Peppers asked, even though Dante Fowler Jr. said he'd love to come to Atlanta and play for Dan Quinn, what do you think the likelihood of the Falcons signing him in free agency is? Actually a little higher than you think. I mean, the Falcons, as I'm recording this, I kind of just got the news. They literally released Desmond Trufant and Devontae Freeman and Austin Hooper. And then DeAndre Hopkins is to the Cardinals. So actually, I would say Dante Fowler going to the Falcons is pretty likely. Quentin Hesse asked, do you think we should trade back from our 16th pick if Kinlaw and Epinesa are taken before? Yeah, because it gives you time to just sit back and think like, okay, well, the 2 players we want are taken. Now we got to sit back and just look at our best options instead of freaking out like, oh crap, we traded up, but the players we have are already taken. What do we do now? So yeah, I would definitely go back to 16 if Kinlaw and Epinesa are taken. Ghost Peppers asked, I stumbled across a website called fanspeak.com. They have an NFL mock draft simulator, an interesting fun activity for fans, and this is how it works. Pick your favorite team, choose how many rounds, choose your NFL draft big board. The simulator automatically make the picks for other teams every round until it's your turn to make your picks. Based upon the simulator, here are my picks. The 16th pick, Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. 47th pick, DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. 55th pick, Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Rhine. 78th pick, Bradley Anae out of Utah. 109th pick, Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. 140th pick, Stanford Samuels, the 3rd out of Florida State, and the 206th pick, Colby Parkinson out of Stanford. Would you be happy if the Falcons walked away with these picks? Some of them yes, some of them no. Javon Kinlaw, I would be happy with it. DeAndre Swift, okay, I'm gonna almost switch the topic, but only for 10 seconds. Why is everyone so sure the Falcons are going to get a top 3 running back in the draft? Guys, the Falcons are not going to get an elite running back in the draft. I promise you. Yes, Devontae Freeman just got released. But they're not going to get a top 3 running back. Let alone maybe even a running back in general. They might stick with Ito Smith and Quadre Ollison, Kenyon Barner, whoever they have. I really don't think they're going to get an elite running back like DeAndre Swift, and I would not mind if they get players like DeAndre Swift. Don't get me wrong, but let's just be real. There are so many other positions the Falcons need to focus on instead of just running back. And I'm not trying to, bash anyone's take that the Falcons should get him or anything. I don't want to make it come across that way. I just am kind of trying to put out there, guys, the Falcons are not going to get an elite running back. If they do get a running back, it's going to be like a no-name. But anyway, moving on. Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan. I don't really know too much about him, to be honest. Bradley and Nate out of Utah. Whatever. Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. Again, kind of whatever. Stanford Samuels out of Florida State. I actually like that pick. And seemingly every defensive back out of Florida State does good anyway. Look at Jalen Ramsey. And then Colby Parkinson out of Stanford. I don't know about that one since we just now got Jaden Hurst. So overall, I'm actually happy with most of the picks. Matt asked, do you think that we can have a repeat of last year? And how fast do you think that Dan Quinn would get fired? Literally, we had a repeat of 2018 and 2019. So yes, we most certainly could have a repeat of 2019. How fast could Dan Quinn get fired? I think Dan Quinn would get fired like after the season. I think they would want to have him finish out the season because, they love Dan Quinn. They want to have him finish out strong, I guess, but they wouldn't keep him afterwards, if that makes any sense. Bam Watson asked, I think we should go cornerback with the first pick. Our secondary was horrible last year and the year before, so just thinking with the 2020 draft prospects, it's slot of edge rushers in this class, and we have 2 second-round picks. Running back in that round as well. But what do you think? I don't know if we should go for corner in the first round, but we should definitely go for corner after that. I mean, Desmond Trufant just got released. So, I want you to be honest. How many of you seriously trust Isaiah Oliver to be a Pro Bowl corner and Kendall Sheffield? I want you to be honest. How many of you have trust in Isaiah Oliver? Sorry, but not me. So I actually would consider getting a corner. Maybe not in the first round, but like in the second to just any other round, not named the first round. Ninja Kale asks, who's your second favorite team in the NFL? Well, let's get this straight. Whoever the Falcons are playing, I'm rooting for the Falcons 100%, but I get what you mean. Like, if the Falcons are doing bad, but there's another team that I don't necessarily mind is doing well, I would root for them. Kind of like, I know what you're trying to say. Again, if the Falcons are playing them, you already know I'm rooting for the Falcons 100%, but oh my gosh, I seriously cannot believe I'm saying this. I actually legitimately cannot believe I'm saying this. The Miami Dolphins. My twin brother is a die-hard Miami Dolphins fan. I used to have this brotherly rivalry with the Dolphins because it's like, okay, I'm a twin brother. I cannot like the same thing. But I've gotten to the age where that doesn't really exist anymore. Like, if the Dolphins do well, it's just, I'm happy that my brother is happy. I don't know if anyone else has that if you're a twin. But, yeah, if you're a twin, you can't choose the same thing. Like, I can't choose a Florida team. So, yeah, at first I had a brotherly rivalry, but not really anymore. Like, I'm out of that. But, yeah, I guess the Miami Dolphins. And if not them, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because they're, like, the closest to the Falcons, or, I don't know, maybe they're not. I think it's the Panthers, but the Panthers are, like, in the NFC South. Anyway, either the Jaguars or the Dolphins. Football Films ask, what are your thoughts on Younghoe Koo's future? It's kind of too early to tell, but I think he's doing pretty good. Yeah, it's a little too early to tell. We definitely need to see a lot more from him, but he's doing pretty good. Falcons fan asked, do you think 2016 was our best season? In a way, yes. Like, defensively, oh no, far from it. But offensively, I mean, yeah. Like, Matt Ryan won MVP. Julio Jones was just racking up numbers. We had 2 great running backs in a year where running backs aren't really even the big, deal anymore. Now it's like wide receivers and whatnot. Kyle Shanahan, blah, blah, blah. Like, offensively, it was amazing. And we made the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. We almost won. So, I mean, I guess why not? I mean, 2016 was maybe our best season, at least offensively. The Unknown Gem asks, what's up, Logan? Rise up, the Unknown Gem. 2 questions. 1, if Matt Ryan ever wins a Super Bowl, will the haters get off his back for good? I can't really promise anything, but I guess. I think there would still be some Saints fans or whatever saying 28-3, but joke's on them because Matt Ryan has a Super Bowl now. So, like, yes and no, if that makes sense. Like, anyone that is not a Saints fan would maybe get off his back, but Saints fans will never get off his back. But that's just because they're Saints fans and they're idiots. And the second thing is, since I designed my playbook, would you be willing to hit me up on Twitter at Dominique Roseberry 5 so I could show some? Oh, absolutely. Hit me up. I want to see your playbook, and I'll show it to the Falcons. I mean, like, I would release Dirk Cutter right now. Dirk Cutter is just, he's seriously that bad. Tyler 10 Jets ask, which Super Bowl team was better, the 28-3 one or the 1999? I could have just said 2016, but anyway, okay, this sounds kind of like, sometimes you just have to laugh it off, but I guess the 2016 one, because at least we were closer to winning it. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. But, like, we were closer to winning it than the 1999 one. The 1999 one, we just weren't close at all. But, yeah, I guess the 2016 one. But that's all I really got. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys with a video this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. As always, rise up.